This is take 3 of a diagnosis video. I'm pointing the camera at an actual switch that had a problem. I solved this problem by opening the switch internally and repairing a overly tight connection. But here's how I diagnosed it. This is a voltmeter, and you see it's set to continuity testing. I'll demonstrate on some rail. Okay, center rail, center rail. Normal good continuity. Center rail far away. Center rail. Continuity. You expect power to be through your whole system. Same thing goes for outer rail, command, control, center. Continuity. What was happening is the train, as it crossed the threshold and connected with this piece, which provides it turn abilities for its wheels, so letting out a spark and setting off the short detection on the Legacy 990, on the ZW Power Master power setup to protect the trains and protect the hardware. Any kind of short immediately causes the trains to stop running, power to be cut. Now, the problem here is, the problem I discovered was this island here is center rail. This section here is outer rail. When the switch was broken, it was continuity between the two. Hence, sparking. Now, this switch may still have a problem. The problem I fixed was the connector to this piece. It was too tight, and internally it was, I just loosened it slightly, and it corrected the problem. This guy here, probably the same issue, but this is outer rail. Now when you got this guy and this guy having continuity with center rail, you got problems. Now let's run the rail car over it. I've solved my problem, but I've still got a flaw in the switch. Okay, so a properly working switch, I'm going to change the camera angle and point at a properly working switch and zoom in if I can. Here is a completely correctly working switch. This little triangle piece, center rail, also has continuity, so maybe it's okay. I'm learning this technology as we go. Clearly the switch is functioning. Clearly you should not have continuity between this outer rail and this center island, which is part of center rail, and they don't, and my switch works right. Alright, that's it for this episode of Shmuel's Trains. Try and turn off the camera without getting my big fat fingers in the picture. Hello. I found these videos on my phone made while working on switches. They may be helpful in troubleshooting and showing how to carefully take apart and put together these switches. Caveat emptor, buyer beware. It's possible to break the switches in these circumstances. This is the internal mechanism of a Fastrack switch. I had a continuity problem on the top side of the track connected to this connector here that I'm pointing at with the voltage meter. I loosened this connector and the connectivity problem went away. I will demonstrate. I don't recommend you do this with your switches, but when a train passed its wheels along this route, and the wheels touched here and here, and the train also touched the center rail here, there was a big spark and the entire layout went up. I actually got return authorization on this switch from the eBay seller. There was continuity. Oops, we dropped it. There was continuity test between the center rail and the rail right. I'm touching here, this rail and this rail, this is part of the center rail connection, and this is part of the outer rail connection. They're not supposed to touch. You're never supposed to hear this beeping sound when you do a continuity test between those two connectors. Now there's none. So I'm going to reassemble the switch next and see if the situation holds.